Hello, welcome to the Memorial Day ceremonies in downtown Peabody. I'm Deanne Healey with Peabody Main Streets, and I'm joined today by Natalie Maga from Peabody Access Television.
And Deanne, it's great to be with you for the 2018 Memorial Day Parade.
I think the last time we were together, Nat, was for the Centennial Parade.
That's exactly
yeah.
right.
So it's always a great day. Lots of people coming out now to watch the parade.
See them gathering up there.
Absolutely. So in a few minutes, we'll start off with the dignitaries and the floats and the bands will be coming right through, and we'll be walking you through everybody that's coming by today. So Memorial Day, Nat, is such a special day. It's that day that we recognize the people who have given their lives for our country.
The ultimate sacrifice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right, Dan.
And there have been plenty, because Peabody is so old,
right. Yes.
that they have done that for many, many years. We've given a lot of people.
Yes. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of monuments within the city, to honor these heroes, and it's very touching. I think we're going to have a little clip.
Okay, we're going to.
Hey, great. Here you go.
We're going to start off now with some footage from the June 14th, 1919 parade, the very first parade almost 99 years ago. And it has been donated to Peabody Access Television by the Peabody Institute Library.
I believe, Deanne, this is over at Emerson Park.
So this was a parade that was for the veterans of World War I in Peabody. And it also included, towards the end, the soldiers that served in the Civil War.
It was truly a welcome home.
Look at that. Look at the crowds that gathered at the time.
Amazing.
And to think we're 100 years later, we're still doing it and honoring our veterans.
I just love to see the footage back then. They're all in good step, too, Deanne. Look at that.
Oh.
I guess this is the naval?
The naval contingent, yeah. It's too bad we don't have the audio to be able to hear the band, but, technology wasn't the same back then.
Right. Really beautiful. A lot of naval. Look at them. Wow. My goodness.
Do you recognize that house in the background, Natalie? Is it still around?
It almost looks like it might be on Perkins Street.
Okay.
Because the park is butts that. It almost looks like one of the houses right on Perkins. Nice vehicles.
It's fun even to watch how all the spectators are, all dressed up for the big day.
Look at that. Yeah, the ladies in their dresses and hats.
One thing that has always struck me about Peabody is the pride in the community. I mean, it's a large city, but it has a small town feel because people feel so strongly about living here.
Yeah. And we just recently celebrated our 100 years, the centennial celebration last year.
I know we had so many great events going on for a year to celebrate that.
It was an awesome year.
From the big gala at the mall to the birthday party to the Centennial Parade. It was a fabulous year.
Well, now comes the Army contingent. I just love the fact that how they walk pretty brisk. That's amazing.
Oh, giving a little wave there.
Yeah. All smiles. That was quite the welcome.
It looks like it might have been a nicer day than we've had the last few years on Memorial Day.
But look at the rough terrain. They're walking right on the park, on the grounds.
No, there's nothing like watching the pomp and circumstance of the military, right? Yeah. It's very majestic.
It is. It is. And they give so much for us. Yes, we're here. Which one, Dawn?
Is that clip one?
Is that clip one?
Clip two.
Clip two, okay.
So this is about to end?
Oh, look at how it's fading.
January 1966, Private First Class Terrence Kalelis writes home from Vietnam. I'm over here in this mess, and I'll always hold my head high and be proud of it. We stepped into World War II and stopped something that had to be stopped, and we're doing the same thing now. It's expensive more than one way, but I'll fight forever here instead of on U.S. soil.
Oh, Deanne, that's very touching. A lot of those gentlemen I knew
Very
personally,
powerful.
very powerful. Just puts everything into perspective.
Absolutely. And you know, Nat, there's probably not a family around that hasn't been touched by somebody who served and lost their lives, for this country.
Yes. Yeah. Our great country.
But that was a great video. Did Peabody Access TV put that together?
Yes, they did. They did. Yeah, I'm very proud of what they do.
Yeah, no, they did a nice job, And just as one of the quotes on there said, we're fortunate that we haven't had to experience conflict on our soil.
The Veterans Office shared that video with us.
Oh.
And yes.
Excellent. And then as we wait for the parade to make our way down here, we're going to be seeing a couple of other clips coming up as well.
Yes. And we did have quite a morning, Deanne. I believe at 9:30 they were over at Cedar Grove doing an honor service over there. And we had, I know the mayor was part of putting flags out.
Right.
He was kind of proud of to be part of that.
Right. So. And then was it on Friday, Natalie? They did a ceremony down on Main Street in Pierpont to recognize a serviceman as well.
Yes.
So.
And I believe there was a mass up at St. Adelaide's one day this weekend too.
Oh, wow.
So there's been quite a lot of ceremonies.
Yeah. Well, it's nice, and I think it makes families and even people who currently serve in the military. It warms their hearts to know that people really do appreciate their call to duty and their service and sacrifice. For the rest of us.
Yes. Yep. And they're made certain that we will never forget.
Right. Absolutely. So we have a great day planned here. There's going to be lots of marching bands, dignitaries, some floats.
Yes.
I passed them coming in here this morning. So, the kids always get very excited to come.
Love a parade.
Everyone loves a parade. Exactly. Exactly.
It does kind of bring you all together, and it's joyous, even though this is sort of a sad reason, but still it brings you together.
Right. Now, one of the things I think sometimes people get confused about too is the difference between Patriots Day, Memorial Day, and Veterans Day. And Patriots Day was designed to commemorate the first battle of the Revolutionary War. And Veterans Day recognizes or celebrates those who are serving in our military. And again, today, Memorial Day, is really meant to not only recognize the people who have served, but served in the past and gave their lives for us, because that is the ultimate sacrifice.
Exactly. Yeah. When we do a nice veterans breakfast here in the city too, they do that for Veterans Day, which is very well.
Yeah, and what's always amazing to me is the fact that they actually have to limit the tickets because there's so many people that want to be honored, right?
Right.
So that's a good problem to have, But they do a great job here in the city for the veterans with so many services for them, and I think trying to give them the special recognition that they so well deserve.
Exactly.
The other thing, too, being down here on Main Street, not too long ago, the city moved the Soldiers and Sailors Monument over to in front of the courthouse. And it's such a great move because it takes it out of the middle of the traffic pattern and put it closer to where people could, see access to it, right? Yeah. And I've had many people ask me, like, what's the point of that monument? Why are we paying to move it? But that monument was dedicated in 1881, and it's a Civil War monument. Yeah.
Wow.
So, and the inscription on it reads, "The town to her sons who died in the Great Rebellion, that the Union might be preserved and liberty secured for all."
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And that still resonates today, I think.
Yes.
And 3 of the sides have names of people from Peabody who lost their lives, in that war and everything. So
I believe there's a time capsule in that monument too, Deanne.
You're right.
I remember, I believe when former Mayor Turigian was here, we opened it up, and I can remember at City Hall, they brought everything out.
Yep.
It was really...
Yeah, and actually when they moved it, I believe they opened it up and then they put a new
one in.
They added some new things to the capsule.
Wonderful.
Yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So,
what is that thing on Memorial Day? Oh, okay. Okay.
we're going to go to another clip now.
Okay. Yes, we did. This one here. Oh, okay. This here. Another little trivia, I guess, Deanne, about Memorial Day, how it was originally called Decoration Day, and that originated after the Civil War, but it was not a federal holiday until 1971.
Isn't that interesting?
It is very interesting.
I don't know what the process is to make something a federal holiday, but it took an awful long time for that to happen, even though we were celebrating it. Right?
1971. Huh? Just a little trivia that we'd like to share.
Well, it's always good to know those things. I think people don't always understand what goes into making some of these things happen. And even like the parade today, you take a look at what the parade orders are and the coordination. There's a lot that goes into it.
There sure is. Okay, I guess we now, I believe, have the Boy and Girl Scouts that were in that parade in 1919. Oh my goodness! Look at them. Look at their helmets.
Yeah. Big difference from the uniforms they wear today for scouting.
I guess so. They stand so proud walking there. My goodness.
Oh, and here come the Girl Scouts.
Look at the Girl Scouts in their uniforms.
That's great. Quite a few of them, too.
I guess so. Wow.
And I suspect we will see both the boys and the Girl Scouts today later in our parade.
I believe they're joining us.
What you don't see in the parade clip from 1919 is any of the commercialization of the celebration, right?
That looks like okay.
So that's great to take a look back on the history, right, and see how far we've come and just kind of see what people were like, almost 100 years ago.
100 years ago, but you still see that action.
Yeah. So 100 years from now, people will be looking at the footage here, the people standing on the street, and saying the same thing.
Same thing. Oh my. Okay. I can see some people up there lining the streets, Deanne.
Yep, they're starting to come out. Yeah. They're starting to come out. And we'll have, again, a couple more clips that we'll be showing you. And we mentioned earlier that there was another ceremony at Cedar Grove Cemetery earlier today. That will be, it was taped, and it will be played later on Peabody Access TV for you to check out.
Yep. And maybe while we have this little time, we give a shout out to our Peabody Access crew, who are amazing.
They are terrific.
And thank you. We love working with you.
And I will mention that they're also award-winning.
They certainly are. Many, many, many awards.
So, which is great. And that's a great resource for the community. You guys do such a great job in getting information out there about so many different areas, about things going on in the city. And it's really a resource.
It certainly is.
And I know now I see a lot more about different workshops that you guys are hosting.
We are. We've started a lot of those, and we're getting a lot of activity, and it's really taking off good.
Right, right. So what, people can come in, learn how to use cameras, I mean, even some other types of technology that they might want to use for personal knowledge.
Yeah, and we're getting ready to do some podcasting.
Oh.
Which, I'm a little bit behind in this technology, but I know they're very excited about that.
Oh, and I think that probably is appealing to a lot of people. All right, in just a minute, we're going to go to another clip, and I believe this one is going to feature the fire department.
What if that was their honor guard that just kind of went by there back then? We just recently dedicated a memorial, too, up in Emerson Park area for the police and fire.
It's a beautiful memorial too. Yes.
It certainly
Everybody should take a moment to stop by and see that and reflect.
Well, that looks like the fire station, Deanne, that they might be going by.
Oh, it does, Natalie.
Oh, and look at the crowd.
And look at all of it.
Yeah.
And this is the firemen, right?
Yes,
In their
yeah.
formal uniforms.
Yeah.
Their dress uniforms.
Yes. Yeah.
Nope. That's the ladder truck.
Look at that.
We've come a long way, baby.
We certainly have. Oh my goodness.
I think the fire department may have, maybe not quite that old, but some of the older trucks that are around sometimes,
And
right?
recently they renovated one of the firehouses, and it's up at Brooksby.
Oh,
They
well,
rebuilt it up there, and it's beautiful. It's like a museum to the fire department.
and that's the building right next to the barn,
Yes.
correct?
Yes. And they had the horses pulling them. Oh my goodness.
You know, so it just reminds you what a long, long tradition we have with the Peabody Fire Department being involved in the
Yes.
community.
Yep. That was really something to
That
see.
really
I enjoyed
is,
that.
you know. It's nice having that trip down memory
I
lane, you
know,
know. You
I
hear
know.
so many stories about what life was back in the day, and now you get to actually catch a little glimpse of it.
Sometimes I wish I could have been back in that day. Maybe I was.
I don't know, long dresses and petticoats. No, but you know, it's nice that that this footage was able to be captured and
Yes.
restored and shared with Peabody Access to share with the community by the Peabody Institute Library, because it really kind of just gives you a snapshot back in history, and just I think people can get a sense of
Right, of what it was.
what it was like,
then,
and and what long-standing traditions we
Yes.
have in this community.
yeah. Right.
If it was a little bit warmer day, the crowds would probably be 10 deep.
Right. Like 1919. It is a very, very, I don't know, kind of gloomy, but yet you can see there's excitement in the air.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And it's fun to watch the kids. The kids get so excited and everything. And I think for many of us, Memorial Day, signals the kickoff for summer. But it's nice to be reminded about what the day really means and
really
why we have the day off from work for those of us who do, to really recognize.
Stop and reflect, like you said, and think, how fortunate we are that, that these people have taken care of us in their own way.
Absolutely, absolutely, right? No country in the world as
No,
good as the USA.
That's right. That is right.
So, but it's always fun to be here with you, Natalie. We have a good
my
time
pleasure,
together,
Deanne.
right?
I love it. Little sad about the Celtics last night. Did you happen to catch that?
You can't win every time.
No. No. We have a young team, and they'll be fine.
Yeah. And Nat, I'm excited to be here too, being involved in Peabody Main Streets, because there's so many good things happening downtown these days, and so many more things about to happen. Yeah. So, I think the change that the community has seen for the last couple of years has been very positive. Yeah. Just with the aesthetic improvements downtown, and there's more of that to come. We're seeing new businesses move into town, buildings being renovated, and it's all good.
There's a lot of good stuff. Yes. Yeah. I love the pop-up pubs. We're going to have a pop-up market coming soon.
Yes. I'm very excited about that. For people who've come down to the Peabody's Farmers Market, I think that's been running 7 or 8 years, mainly here in front of City Hall. We got a market manager this year who took it over and has been able to reach out to a lot of new contacts. So the first pop-up market will happen on Leather City Common on June 12th from 3 to 7 p.m. We have about 35 plus vendors coming, everything from produce and farms to, I believe Tilly's Farm is going to be there with their herb garden. And lots of different vendors, local specialties,
Wonderful.
pastry shops, and I believe the Branch Olive Oil Company is going to be there. Lots of different things.
Yeah.
We're going to have a DJ.
Nice. Now, what was that date again, Deanne?
June 12th.
June 12th.
From 3 to 7. And it's going to happen every other Tuesday from 3 to 7 from June 12th to September 4th.
Wonderful.
Each week has a different theme. There's going to be kids' activities, the Peabody Recreation Department's involved, the Terigian Family YMCA. It's being sponsored by Brooksby Village and Salem 5 Bank.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so it's really going to be a good time.
Yeah. So everybody come on down.
Yeah.
June 12th.
And then, of course, we have the pop-up pub. It will
Yes.
return on June 23rd to the
23rd.
square, and that's always a good time. And, and the thing is that, Peabody Main Streets really isn't in the event planning business. But one of the things that, reasons why we do it is to demonstrate to people and future investors that if you give people a reason to come downtown, they will.
They'll come down.
Yes.
Yes.
And funny, parking never seems to be a problem when somebody wants to come to a market or a pop-up pub or
Yeah.
some special event
Yeah.
that's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. So we don't want to hear that parking is an issue.
Right.
It's not.
And then, of course, recently we just opened the Black Box Theater at the Artworks Community Arts Center.
That was amazing. And a lot to be done there, in the future,
Oh,
I'm sure.
it's going to be great. A couple of times I've seen the improv group there.
Yes.
Accidentally on purpose. They've done a terrific job. They're quite fun. And just recently they had some Broadway stars performing show tunes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Wonderful.
So there's going to be a lot more of that happening downtown as well.
I know one of our work study students, I think, performed when they first opened up. He was amazing. Amazing.
And for those of you at home that don't know what a black box theater is, it is just that. It's a room. It's all painted black, and it's basically a modular theater space that can be set up in any type of configuration. So it can be for entertainment. It can be for small theater acts. It could be for comedy. And the seating configuration can be changed around to accommodate many different needs.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
So I think you'll be hearing a lot more about that in the
yeah.
future. I know they have a long list of people who are interested in renting
coming.
the space
Oh,
out.
Great.
So that'll be a great addition to downtown.
I know one of the openings, I believe we had our own Corey Jackson, who is, I believe, the director of the Citizens Inn.
Yes.
And he performed, and him and I believe his wife.
Yes.
But and oh my God, they were awesome.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. Well, and thanks to Peabody Access TV for covering that. So the people who weren't able to attend got to see
Yes.
what the potential is for that space.
We have lots happening in the city, Deanne. Lots happening, and we thank you and Main Streets for a lot of that, and of course our Peabody Access for covering.
Okay, we're going to be heading to a new clip in a moment, and it's going to be a flag raising ceremony. Again, for those of you who are just tuning in, this is on June 14th, 1919, exactly 99 years ago, almost to the day. It was at West Emerson Park in Peabody Square, and we'll be doing a flag raising ceremony here not too long, correct? This footage was donated by Peabody Institute Library to Peabody Access TV to share.
Just amazes me the number of people.
Gives you a real sense of really just how many people, are involved in the military.
Yes. And here we are back, and we can hear some sirens.
Absolutely.
Diane.
So it must mean that the fun's about to begin.
I think so.
Yep, we can see the lights heading our way and the sirens kicking off the action.
Seems like it's getting a little brighter.
So who will be the first group that we'll see now?
I think we're going to be seeing the Peabody, well, there'll be a fire engine escort, and then we're going to have the Peabody Police Color Guard come along, and they'll be leading off Mayor Ted Betancourt and the elected officials. Some of our state dignitaries will be with the mayor.
Excellent.
And then we'll be going in with the Peabody Fire Department Color Guard. And then we're going to have the Stephen Moore 2 drummers.
Excellent.
And I guess the parade route, Deanne, was about 1.5 miles.
And so it started off on Allen's Lane on Washington Street?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
You always know you're getting close to Memorial Day when you see the red, white, and blue stripes being painted down the street, right?
And this week, I did notice they were brightly painted.
I suppose for those people who are unfamiliar with it, they're probably wondering what's going on.
Right.
But that's kind of a fun way to know what the parade route is.
It is. It is. We even have the animals that are getting excited. Can hear them barking.
You know, we're very fortunate with our Peabody Police Department and Fire Department. They're so involved in so many different aspects of the community, too.
Yeah, they're right there when, just anytime you need them, they're right there.
Right.
Yeah. Just a little personal note, too, Deanne, that my dad was a policeman. He retired as a lieutenant. Yeah, my dad, Harry Kapinski. So proud of him.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So they're starting to head down Main Street now. They'll end here in front of City Hall, and we'll end with a ceremony.
Yes.
As you said, the parade route's about 1.5 miles long, so they take their time so everybody can enjoy the experience.
That's right.
You know, and this is one time you don't mind hearing the sirens, right?
You don't have to run away and move your car or anything. They're right about middle of Main Street, I think, Deanne.
Oh, there's another dog going off now. It's funny, though, but the kids do get so excited to see, the men in uniform, the officers, the trucks and the sirens.
And I love that respect when they do see a police officer. It's just, they know they're there for them.
Right.
Before it gets too loud, I have been attending the police academy. The city of Peabody puts on a police academy.
That is such a fabulous program.
It's been amazing. It really has. And they're wonderful. Captain Scott Richards is the one that leads it. But every week we've been having something different about the department. It's been wonderful.
Wow. And how long does that go for? 6 weeks or so?
It's about 10 weeks, I believe.
Every Wednesday night?
We've got like 3 more to go. Yes, Wednesday nights.
Nice. And it's free to attend, right? You just have to sign up. And they run it periodically throughout the year, right?
Yeah. And they're about 31 in our class.
Wow.
So it's been really good. Oh, here we have some of the little terrain vehicles coming by us. Deanne, it really has filled in beautifully.
It really has, yeah.
And right here in City Hall. Awesome.
They're giving everybody an opportunity to see the trucks, and you can see the elected officials are following right behind.
Yes. It is something to see the vehicles in 2018 as compared to what we saw in 1919.
Technology is a wonderful thing.
I just have the chills all over my whole body. It's amazing.
You know, and it's fun to see all the people out there, you know, holding their American flags and waving them as the folks walk by.
That is a very proud sight to see. Can you make out what engine it's engine 4? Engine 4 is coming. First one.
So now the Peabody Police Color Guard is following the fire engines here.
Yeah. Don't they look very handsome?
They
Deanne?
certainly do.
That's our chief right in the front. I believe that's with Sergeant Girolman. Not supposed to be
Marching in step.
They look wonderful. And now, Deanne, I believe we have the fire department color guard coming right up to us. Again, led by Chief Besden.
Looking good, gentlemen. Looking
Very
good.
handsome. And now we have some of our elected officials.
There's Mayor Betancourt with a couple of his daughters.
Our state reps, city councilors. Representative Walsh coming up on the side. Jared Hockman
from the school committee. Ann
Yes,
Manning
Ann
looking
Manning.
in her
Yeah,
flag sweater.
yeah, very
all
nice.
patriotic.
Very nice.
Excellent.
Oh, look at the straggler, Councilor Gould, straggling
He
along.
was shaking hands, kissing babies.
Straggling along. How are you?
And we have the Brooksby Farm, I believe, is just going by now.
yes.
And they're a salute to our Gold Star families.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, and look at the high school marching band, huh? Don't they sound wonderful?
They do. I just love their new uniforms, Deanne, too. They
Oh,
look
those new
gorgeous.
uniforms?
Yes.
Very nice.
This must be some of the ROTC, the junior ROTC. Beautiful, beautiful. That's our Peabody Veterans Memorial High marching band.
And
Quite
I
a
believe
few
that
of
was
them.
the DARE vehicle that followed right behind them.
And I think McGruff is with him.
Oh, the kid's favorite, right?
Uh-huh. McGruff.
I'm sure he'll be hanging around later for a photo walk, too. It's not a party unless McGruff is there.
For sure. Oh, we have a little break here.
Somebody's out in their little snowsuit. Gotta stay warm.
Probably not a bad idea.
So I think, is this the veteran shuttle that's going to be coming down now?
I believe it is. Yeah, and that it will be carrying who?
The driver is Mike Schultz, and the passengers are Bill Fallon and Chief Mendonça.
Okay.
Mendonça?
Chief, yeah, fire chief, retired fire chief, Joe Mendonça.
I think coming up behind them is the Stephen Moore Band playing The Saints Come Marching In.
They sound good too.
It's almost like we're in New Orleans.
I would like to make that trip someday. Have you?
I've been to New
Have
Orleans.
you?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a lot of fun. A lot of good music.
Yeah. And I heard good food too.
Oh,
Yeah.
beignets.
Oh.
A little wave from our veterans there.
Oh, nice.
Oh, this is the North Shore Stompers.
Okay. Just can't help but get into the groove of this, Deanne, right?
Yep, absolutely.
And I see now the Polish Legion of American Veterans.
Yep, post number 63 coming up in the next couple of cars
Yeah.
here. Very active Polish community here in Peabody.
Oh, my goodness, yeah. I know you know Lola Basta,
Yes.
but she definitely wants to keep that Polish heritage going. She's
That's all-
amazing.
Yes. And you know, that's what's so nice about Peabody too. It really does embrace all the different cultures.
ethnicities.
Mhm.
Yep. And we have our international festival coming up soon, and that's just a show of what Peabody's all about.
Absolutely.
I believe this is like our 35th year doing the festival.
It's fabulous.
And they've even moved it further up on Main Street to make it more opening.
Yes.
You remember
yes.
that?
And to be able to accommodate more people.
Yep,
you know, more
exactly. Yep.
vendors that want to be involved, and
Yep.
great with 3 stages of music.
Yeah,
the
it's
kids'
wonderful.
Day,
It's a wonderful day.
and eat your way around the world.
Exactly.
Is what I say.
Exactly.
Oh, here comes our little Girl Scout
All
troops.
right,
The
here they
daisies.
come.
Look how cute they are with all their little
Oh, I
badges and
know.
petals on.
And their flags. Oh.
A little bit different than the costumes we saw in the
Mhm.
earlier
Yeah.
clip,
For sure.
but just as cute.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Yep, We're a little flag challenge with the Girl Scout troop there, but they're doing a good job. They're so excited. Obviously, they're waving to all their friends and family for their 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah. I mean, that's quite a walk for them,
It
too,
is.
1.5 miles. Look at them.
And then the Boy Scouts are coming up right behind them. You know, and it's nice to see the kids so young get involved in, community events and show their civic pride. And it's something important, I think, to instill in our younger generation.
And you know that will continue through years to come for them.
Yep. And, of course, we appreciate all the moms and dads that are involved in helping keeping these organizations together.
Oh, yes.
Here's the Cub Scout pack.
Pack 87.
They'll be so excited to see themselves on TV later.
Yes, we'll be airing this over the next couple of weeks, Deanne. So
That's
anybody
great.
that wasn't able to see it, hopefully they will catch it. And
Yeah, and we really did get a great turnout for the parade downtown. This is another Boy Scout band that's coming up. I mean, a Boy Scout
Boy Scout group, yeah.
You read about so many of these kids stay on to do their Eagle Scout projects, and usually it's always a project that benefits the community as well.
We had one of our work study students that was going to do his Eagle Scout, and he did an interview with some World War II veterans, the memoirs of those that set us free. What it was, and it was an amazing event, amazing production.
Now, will that be airing on Peabody?
Yes,
Access?
yes.
So this is several of the Boy Scout packs that are coming up.
Looks like they even have a little dog that might be part of their group here.
They got a mascot.
He's got a little vest on.
That's cute. McGruff has some competition, it looks like.
I guess so. Wow, there's quite a few of them, Deanne. Oh, my goodness. Pack 88, right here.
Followed by another marching band, and I'm not sure. We got a little out of schedule with our list. I'm not sure if this is the Stephen Moore Band or the Worcester Brass Band. Might be the Worcester Brass Band.
I think you're right.
Followed behind one of the trucks from the Peabody Municipal Light Plant. Peabody's very fortunate to have their own municipal light system.
Yes.
Rates are very low. They're continually improving.
And I believe me, many times people have lost power in other communities, and we have really been blessed.
Oh, they get it back on very quickly.
Very
yes.
quickly.
Is this the Elks that are coming up? No?
Looks like the Marines. A representation of the Marine Corps, you think? So I believe that was probably the end, Deanne. Although, no, I see some more flags up here.
Yeah, because the bagpipers are coming. I can hear them.
That's right. I take that back. We have some vehicles that have maybe some veterans that are turning now.
So some of the floats and the bands will continue on past City Hall and disperse, and then others will stop here at the end of the parade for a ceremony with the mayor and our elected officials.
At the front of City Hall. Yeah, this is the bagpipes. I love that sound.
I do
Don't
too.
you? Oh,
The
I love
North
that.
Shore Pipe Band.
North Shore Pipe. I love their uniforms too.
And we have the Veterans Post that's coming up. Oh, no.
North Shore Post. Would that maybe be the VFW, do you think?
I'm not sure. You know what a lot of people at home don't realize is that with best laid plans, they put together an order of how these groups are going to come through and who's going to be participating. But there's always changes last minute. Some groups are added in.
Right, some couldn't make it.
Right.
North Shore Post.
Oh, the
Thank you.
Jewish war veterans of the United States.
The weather did look so iffy this morning. I think some people probably did feel that they couldn't come down, but
Right.
I think it's broken. It's pretty nice right
Yep,
now.
yeah, it's holding out.
Yeah.
The Portuguese American War veterans. Got a large contingent there.
Yes. Brings me back to Bill Toomey, who would always be going by in the car.
Oh, that's right.
Bill Toomey, yeah.
He's
Former
missed.
city councilor, yeah. Oh, Chief Mendonça is right there marching. Oh, maybe he got out of the car and decided to join the group. But this is, I believe, that band Recretita that usually starts off our festival.
Oh, you're right.
The
yes.
Banda Recretita.
They sound fabulous.
In Deanne, for 35 years, they've led the festival.
Got another Cub Scout package.
Some more Cub Scouts right here, Deanne. I think they look like they're a little tired now from that mile.
Yeah. It's a long walk for those little legs.
This is our Project Mobility bus, Deanne, going by.
Yep,
One
that
of our
helps.
new vehicles that we just
Excellent,
got.
Excellent. And coming up, we have our Atlantic Ambulance, our EMS services that serve our city.
Yes. Phil's towing going by here. Is that a military vehicle way in the back there too, Deanne, going to be going by?
Yes, it'll be coming by in just a moment, and that looks like that will be the end of the parade portion of the ceremony today.
It's been a wonderful, Deanne, again, it's been wonderful working with you here today. It was an exciting parade. And
Always fun, Natalie.
Yes.
You know,
Same
and
here.
for such a great occasion too. You know, and it's nice to see everyone who came out.
it is. And I believe we're going to be going right across. They're going to be televising the ceremony across at City Hall.
Yeah, so they're
So
right
that's-
there in front of the memorial there, and Mayor Betancourt will be saying a few
Yes.
words, and I think they'll be raising the flag just like they did in the 1919 ceremony. So it's been a fun day here in
has.
downtown Peabody. We thank everybody who turned out for it to share in the fun and the celebration. Again, it's a day of reflection for us.
Yes.
To remember those who served and gave their lives the ultimate
The
sacrifice.
ultimate sacrifice, right. And look forward to, we'll be re-airing this in the next couple of weeks. So if you weren't able to join us today, you can have the opportunity to watch it then.
Right, and you'll be re-airing the clips we showed
Yes,
earlier
yep.
from the parade in 1919, as well as the ceremony from Cedar Grove that took place
Yes.
earlier today as
Yes.
well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Again, on behalf of Peabody Access, we thank you.
Thanks for tuning in.
Good morning. Welcome to the 2018 City of Peabody Veterans Council Memorial Day Ceremony. Please silence all cell phones. Please stand, if you're able, for the national anthem while the American flag is raised and sung by, the national anthem be sung by Peabody native Micaiah Jones.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets spread glare, their bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Wow, that came out of you? Thank you. Thank you, Micaiah. Order. Parade rest.
Call your units to parade rest.
Peabody Veteran Council Chaplain Al Perdone will offer the opening prayer.
Let us pray. Let us pray. We gather together this Memorial Day, set aside from all other days, to remember the brave men and women who served the country, and foremost, those who gave their all, life itself. Dear God, bless our endeavors in honor and in loving remembrance. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief. I want to take a moment to recognize some of the city officials who are here today. We have State Senator Joan Lovely, State Representative Ted Spiliotis, State Representative Tom Walsh, the Honorable Ted Betancourt, the Mayor of Peabody, City Council at Large Tom Rosignol, City Council at Large Tom Gould, City Council at Large Dave Gravel, City Council at Large Ann Manning Martin, City Council at Large Ryan Melville, Sergeant. Ward Councilor John Turco, Ward Councilor Peter McGinn, Ward Councilor James Mitsoulis, Ward Councilor Ed Charis, and Ward Councilor Mark O'Neill. School Committee Member Joseph Amico, Beverly Ann Griffin Dunn, Jared Hockman, and Andrew Onotis. Peabody Light Commissioner Charles Bonfanti, Tommy D'Amato, Thomas Paris, and Bob Wheatley. Thank you all for coming. State Senator Lovely, State Representatives Spiliotis, Walsh, Mayor Betancourt, elected officials, fellow veterans, everybody please seat. Sorry about that. Fellow veterans, family and friends, and most importantly, the Gold Star families in attendance. First of all, I want to say I'm very happy that I'm not getting on an airplane this afternoon for the first time in 4 years. Memorial Day weekend is important to many. I'd like to thank, first of all that march in today's parade, veterans and civilians alike. The parade that we just completed is a twofold event, the celebration of summer and the celebration of those that served, fought, and died. To some people, it's the beginning of summer with baseball games, barbecues, opening of pools, the shedding of heavy winter coats, and driving around with the car windows open, except for today. To family members, military families, and Gold Star families, it's something more. This morning at Cedar Grove Cemetery event, we read the names of those veterans that died this past year. They served honorably. Earlier this weekend, veterans, friends, and family flagged hundreds of gravestones at Cedar Grove Cemetery and other cemeteries throughout the city, the region, and the country to commemorate all those that served and have died. The tin plaques on the City Hall and the 4 stone memorials behind me represent the names of the men who paid the ultimate sacrifice. To quote an often quoted phrase, all gave some gave all. These men on the stone memorials behind me are important because they gave all. I urge you all to take a moment and look at the names on the memorial and the plaques. Look at the ages of these young men. While the circumstances of their deaths are important, they're not as important as the fact that they served and died. These men swore an oath, put on a uniform, served, and died in combat. They did not return home. This is a very powerful thought. Some of the people that we remember today died in combat. Others died later on in life. They all served. All those that served are in our thoughts and prayers today and every day. Please remember them when you leave today. Finally, during this ceremony, you'll witness Mayor Ted Betancourt present the Medals of Liberty to the Gold Star families that beyond today. Please remember them and all the Gold Star families. Thank you. Mayor Betancourt.
Thank you. Good morning to everyone. I would like to first start and introduce from the Peabody Veterans Memorial High School, who will be reading a proclamation from the governor, one of our best and brightest, a young lady who is the salutatorian, number 2 student in our class, and she'll be attending Boston College in the fall. I'd like to have come up Sarah Buckley.
Whereas, while the nation was still recovering from the horrors of the Civil War, people in cities and towns across the country gathered to honor those Union and Confederate soldiers who had given their lives, celebrating the first Decoration Day. And whereas, after World War I, the nation came together to honor those who had fallen in the service of their country. Renamed to Memorial Day, the last Monday in May is when people remember and honor the memory of all men and women who fought and died in all American wars and conflicts. And whereas, throughout our country's history, thousands of Massachusetts citizens have fought in wars and conflicts to defend our safety and way of life. And whereas, their legacy of patriotism and dedication to country is an inspiration to all Americans. And whereas, it is appropriate that all Massachusetts citizens remember the bravery of those who gave their lives so that their sacrifices serve as a reminder of the cost of our freedom. Now, therefore, Charles D. Baker, Governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, does hereby proclaim May 28, 2018 to be Memorial Day. I urge all the citizens of the Commonwealth to take cognizance of this event and participate fittingly in its observance. Given at the Executive Chamber in Boston, the first day of May in the year 2018, and of the independence of the United States of America, the 241st, by His Excellency Charles D. Baker, Governor of the Commonwealth, and Karen E. Polito, Lieutenant Governor of the Commonwealth. God save the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome.
So I'm going to do this here.
Yeah, can you hold it?
Yes.
Would you mind holding? Awesome. Thank you, Sarah. I want to thank everybody for joining us here today and honoring our local heroes and their families. Before I begin, I wanted to thank and recognize our outstanding Peabody Veterans Council for the work they did in flagging the graves of our fallen heroes in the preparation for this wonderful parade and for just being the leaders that they are in our community. Thank you all to our Veterans Council. Last year, the city of Peabody started a new program in which we are transporting our veterans to their medical appointments at the VA hospitals. And it's been a wonderful program that I know has helped so many people. I wanted to recognize a few people for their outstanding service to our city's veterans who are volunteering to drive our veterans to their appointments. Michael Schultz, Bill Phelan, and retired Fire Chief Joe Mendonca. Thank you, all three of you, for your work you do. Since last November, these veterans have tirelessly and selflessly driven the city's veterans to their medical appointments. I also want to recognize another veteran, Ken Hopkins, who for the past 2 years has volunteered full-time in our Veterans Office. These individuals are great examples of veterans helping veterans. Ken, thank you. Before we proceed with the Medal of Liberty ceremony, I wanted to introduce you to a family of heroes who for generations have served as a shining example of the grit, determination, and sacrifice that Peabody is made of. Will Mr. Scatina, Al Scatina Sr., please come forward, and Staff Sergeant Michael Scatina, please come forward. Al Scatina Sr. and his two brothers all served during World War II. Mr. Scatina was a Marine. In fact, from April of 1943 through March of 1946, the Scatina boys had a continuous presence overseas in support of combat operations. I wanted to present on behalf of the city a challenge coin from the city of Peabody thanking Mr. Scatina for his service to the city of Peabody and to our nation in World War II. Thank you so much. Thank you. His son Al has had a great career in law enforcement, the city of Peabody and now with the town of Linfield. And his son, Michael, who's here with us today, joined the military in 2011. He wanted to join the Army's elite special forces. It is my great honor to welcome home yesterday Staff Sergeant Michael A. Scatina from the Special Operations Task Force, Afghanistan. Staff Sergeant Scatina has just been awarded the Bronze Star Medal for Valor, and I wanted to share with you part of the narrative submitted by his commander. At approximately 7 a.m. on February 21st, 2018, Staff Sergeant Scatina was leading a ground assault when his entire element came under heavy PKM, RPG, 40 millimeter, and sniper fire. Without regard to his own safety, Staff Sergeant Scatina moved to the corner of the rooftop in order to provide suppressive fire, when the team leader next to him was shot directly in the neck, knocking him off the roof. Staff Sergeant Scatina was pinned down and began to low crawl. He assessed, treated, and stabilized the casualty that had suffered a gunshot to the neck and a broken back. The element began taking heavy enemy fire and were running low on ammunition. Staff Sergeant Scatina began running in the open and returned with 600 rounds of M249 ammunition and a spare barrel, which was essential for friendly elements to provide the suppressive fire needed to move the casualty. Staff Sergeant Scatina directly saved the life of the team leader, as well as provided friendly elements with the weapons and ammunition required to regain fire superiority and fight off the enemy, all while exposing himself to enemy fire. Please join me in a round of applause for this great American and hometown hero. It's a little token from the city of Peabody. Thank you. And we will now proceed with the Medal of Liberty ceremony and honor those who made the supreme sacrifice. The families I will present the medals to have each had their lives forever changed the day they received word that their loved one wouldn't be coming home. In some cases, it was a casualty officer coming to the door. In other cases, they were notified by mail. But all the soldiers that we recognize today were all killed in action. The impact and sacrifice each made was profound. Join me in honoring each of them. So we ready? First, I would like to invite to come forward the Osgood family for our fallen hero, Private First Class Edward J. Cormier, U.S. Army. The Medal of Liberty for Private First Class Edward J. Cormier, United States Army. To all who shall see these presents greeting. This is to certify that the Governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, authorized by Chapter 132 of the Acts of 2019, has presented Private First Class Edward J. Cormier with the Medal of Liberty. There shall be a Medal of Liberty which shall be awarded to the next of kin of servicemen and women from the Commonwealth killed in action or who died in service while in a designated combat area in the line of duty. Could I please have the Jenkins family come forward for Private Daniel F. Flynn, United States Army. I'd like to invite up the Hubitz family for Private James F. Hubitz, United States Marine Corps. Hubitz family. I'd like to invite the Maney family to come forward on behalf of their fallen hero, Sergeant Ralph W. Maney, United States Army. I'd like to invite up the Trainer family for Private First Class Paul W. Trainer, United States Marine Corps. I'd like to call up the Sitsonis family for Private First Class James Sitsonis, United States Army. I'd like to invite the Cameron family for CM2 Clarence V. Williams, United States Coast Guard.
Steve Patton asked me to say a few words, so I will. My grandfather, Clarence Vernon Williams, was known as Cy. He served in the Coast Guard during World War II as a carpenter's mate on the USS Dorchester. In February of 1943, the Dorchester was transporting troops to Greenland when it was torpedoed by a German submarine off the coast of Newfoundland. Also serving on the Dorchester were 4 chaplains, a rabbi, a priest, and 2 ministers. In an act of courage and compassion, the 4 chaplains gave up their own life jackets and stayed on board the sinking ship to provide prayers and comfort to the 904 sailors on board. 675 men died that day. Cy was 27 years old. He left behind his wife Mary, his 3-year-old son Richard, and his 10-month-old daughter Judy, my mother. My family is honored to have him remembered here today. We'd like to thank Mayor Betancourt and Veterans Agent Steve Patton for honoring his service. I'd also like to thank Mike Schultz. Through a chance conversation a few years ago, we found we were related to each other, the first member of the Williams family I had ever met. Mike connected me to other members of Cy's family who shared their stories and photos of the grandfather I had never met. I'm so thankful for that incredible gift. Finally, our thanks to the Peabody Veterans Council and all the other veterans in our community and their families for the many sacrifices made on our behalf. We're forever grateful.
I wanted to invite the Jonas family to come forward on behalf of Private Ralph Jonas, United States Army. Yesterday, we had a very moving ceremony in which, on behalf of Private Ralph Jonas from the United States Army and the Jonas family, we dedicated an intersection at the city of Peabody at the corner of Main Street and Pierpont Street in honor of the Jonas family that will forever be known as Jonas Corner. Ralph Jonas was one of 4 brothers, including his brother Joe, he's the 5th, that served in wartime in World War II and the Korean War. Private First Class Ralph Jonas graduated from Peabody High School in 1943, and then a year later he was killed in action in the Pacific. And it was a wonderful ceremony in which Joe and Doris, his sister, shared some very moving words. And I wanted to... Did you want to say? Sure. How about you, Joe? I'd like to have his brother, Joe Jonas, say a few words.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Steve Patton. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just such a profound honor for the Jonas family to have our brother memorized with the naming of the street corner at Pierpont and Main Street in his memory. I salute my brother for the sacrifice he made. I salute every brother and sister of his that served in the military and gave their life for our freedom and our peace. To all of those veterans that are here who have served in the past and those who are presently in the military, I salute you all. Thank you for your service. And Staff Sergeant Scatina, I am so proud of you and what you have shown as courage and bravery. I salute you, my sir, my friend. Thank you all very much.
Great job.
Okay, sorry, go back to you. So I want to, again, thank all of the families for those fallen heroes that we honored today. I often say that it's very difficult, really near impossible, to be able to adequately express and articulate our respect and appreciation and thanks to all of our veterans, to all of their families who have given so much to our community and so much to our nation, our freedoms, our liberties. It's because of all of your efforts, and I try so hard to be able to articulate how strongly we feel about each and every one of you. Thank you for your service. Thank you to all of our veterans and their families. God bless you all, and God bless America.
Sorry about that. Okay, apologize. Could I please have Mayor Betancourt and Captain Sweet come forward to place a wreath at the base of the World War I, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam monuments. Units, attention. Units, mount colors.
Call your units to attention. The Marine Corps Honor League Honor Guard will now fire the rifle salute, and the Peabody Veterans Memorial High School students will play taps. Order, arms. Chaplain Perdome will now offer the closing prayer. Chief?
Let us pray. As we go forth in our efforts this Memorial Day, may our thoughts continue to honor and remember what has been said here. And in this moment of time, give us the joyful thankfulness while we remember those who gave all and went before us. Amen.
The worst thing you can do to a veteran who has sacrificed his time, his life, parts of his body, is to forget. If the dead could speak to us today, they would say, "Don't forget us." I want you all to join me in saying, "We remember you" together. Say it with me now. We remember you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You are all dismissed.
Well stated.